Welcome back to Founder Facials, a series where we go into the treatment room with some of our favourite and most respected business owners and pick their brains as I pick their skin. So today I am joined by Meagan Pate. Today what I'm most excited to talk about is 3 Warriors, your self-tanning product. But can you tell me a little bit about the evolution of your role in our industry?
Absolutely. I've also been so excited to catch up today. Being a big beauty enthusiast, I guess my journey with beauty started when I was quite young. I suffered from really bad self-esteem issues. I had terrible hormonal acne all throughout my teen years, and I was just looking for something to fix that, but also mask it. So that kind of led me down the rabbit hole of going into beauty, becoming a makeup artist, being a painter, a drawer, a creative. Always loved that self-expression. From there, it went into advertising, marketing, media, but my love of beauty always existed. So I was always aligning with beauty brands, whether it be your L'Oreal's or your Pricelines, through working in publishing. And then, fell into this wonderful world of brand and business and started with 3 Warriors about 3 years ago now, joined the founder Corbin, and advising for other beauty brands, more behind the scenes strategically.
I'm going to be very honest with you. The word fake tan is a dirty word in our clinic. A lot of people just don't know how, I'm sure, to embrace a wonderful product like yours, because it can be fabulous in the bottle. It's like a skincare product. You have the best product inside there, but are they utilizing it properly? How do you not only create a fabulous product, but how do you also ensure that it is applied safely and beautifully?
So first of all, product performance. So the integrity of the products, the integrity of the ingredients, that's something that I'm super, super proud of for 3 Warriors. So we actually started when Corbin, our founder, became really unwell with toxic mold poisoning. So his body could no longer break down any chemicals or toxins. So the products are certified organic, so therefore they're skincare first. When you look at the back of the bottle, the great thing is you can actually understand the ingredients. So everything's plant or vegetable derived, and it's certified organic. So things like the Tasmanian olive oil, it's still hand-picked from Flinders Island. So it's the highest quality products and ingredients possible. So then when we're talking about it going onto the skin and stopping things like congestion, blocking pores or becoming like streaky or flaky, having these ingredients that work really well to actually nourish the skin helps prevent that.
People invest heavily on skincare that is having a positive effect on their skin, and then they'll often go and put a fake tan on, or they'll go and put a makeup on that is not considered in the same way. It's about the finish, the amount of coverage, the colour, and there is this push and pull therefore between people looking for results and applying things that are actually working against their ambitions.
So we're actually nourishing the skin both ways. So what we want for the brand, and I'm sure this is what a lot of your customers want too, is even complexion, radiant skin tone, and to look and feel their best, nice and healthy. So with the products like the Gradual Tan or say the Face Tan Mist, they're designed that you would then go, okay, cool, it's even my skin tone, I feel really good, it's nourishing my skin inside and out with that little bit of DHA that gives it the added glow, but I don't then have to wear a heap of makeup, or I feel really comfortable and confident just like running to the shops or doing my chores, with that even complexion.
The whole tan story is an interesting one because people tan for so many different reasons, right? Some people tan because it's a security blanket, and when I say tan, I don't strictly mean fake tan. It's also, the natural tans that people rely on to make themselves, for whatever reason, feel more beautiful, feel healthier, look healthier.
A few years ago, kind of when I came into the brand, it was quite saturated. And then we found this beautiful white space, which was just like, look like you, but you on the best day, nice and healthy. This like time of going 6 shades darker with, a Geordie Shore type look or something. It just doesn't seem to be what people are looking for now. Like it's really embracing that. And I love the kind of how beauty principles do that. It's like that effortless, like a little bit of maintenance for a low maintenance look the next day, but not masking.
Yeah, and I think that's often where people rely on the tan, be it fake or natural, that they're just trying to cover something. And that can often create a whole lot of other issues around sun damage, around, if they're not using a product that's as pure as yours, it can bring about a whole host of hypersensitivity, congestion.
And really heavily alcohol based, which is very drying for the skin. So we find that our two key customers, mid-30s women, a lot of them are just going through their first pregnancy journey. So they're looking at what's in labels, what they're eating. And then we speak to a lot of women, 45 plus in their 60s who are like, my makeup routine's changing, my skin's changing, I need extra hydration. And then that's generally where they discover us or where their friends recommend us to them. And they're like, oh, this isn't a 30-minute beauty routine every morning, but it just gives me that little bit of added confidence, but I know I'm also not doing any damage to my skin.
As a dermal clinician, it's innate that we're going to encourage our clients to always put their skin first,
Yes.
right? That who they are naturally is the best version of themselves, right? But we're not them. We can say that, and we all definitely champion staying out of the sun. And I think, there's definitely people here that fake tan and they use your product and they love it. And we have lots and lots of clients that use your product. Where undeniably the fake tan category is I think the most benefit is that it is stopping people from tanning naturally.
Completely.
Because it is just so bad for us for so many different reasons. So where I love you and what you're doing more than anything, it's about allowing people to feel as good as they need to feel with a tan, but doing it just so much more safely.
Completely. I think that comes back to a few things as well. And one thing that I love is a bit of tan. And I'm not a huge tanner, but I will use the gradual tan every few days, the face tan mist. It just makes me feel fresh, alive, and a bit healthy. And for Corbin, when he founded it, he was actually super, super sick. So he was bedridden for nearly 2 years. He's a massive fake tan addict, but it helped him feel good. And it helped him feel, when he was going out, people weren't going, oh, you look a bit pale, or you look a little bit unwell. It gave him that kind of vibrancy again to feel refreshed. So I think there's an element of, staying out of the sun, protecting your skin, especially your face. And you would see a lot of skin sun damage coming through. So a face tan mist, which is beautiful, ingredients that are skincare first, hydrating, but then just giving that little bit of a lift and evening skin tone. We find it's just a confidence boost.
Those things that you touched on about feeling fresh, feeling healthy, feeling beautiful, that's all that matters, right? And whatever that means to you, we have our philosophies here of what we think people should do to their skin, because we know what works and what doesn't. But at the end of the day, and I'll come back to what I said about the sun, we've got clients that love the sun, right? And I'm never going to tell them to not do the things that make them happy, because this stuff is here and the skincare is important, but living your life happily and doing the things that bring you joy supersedes all of that stuff. So we often have clients that, will go and bake themselves in the sun, and then they come here and we mop up all the damage. That's our job. It's
the cleanup guy.
And we're not unhappy about that, because we see the joy that it brings them.
Yeah.
If it's causing irreparable harm, it's a different story.
I really see a huge shift in people's tanning behavior. And I think that's why we also love our community. So we have, women in their 30s, women in their 60s, and they're really self-assured. They know who they are, they know what they're doing. I don't feel like they're coming to us because they want to mask something or an insecurity. It's just they're like, you know what, this is part of my beauty practice that will give me that extra confidence boost, or allow me just to feel that little bit better going makeup free, or, feel a little bit more effortless and undone, or they're busy, busy women with kids running around doing these things. This is just that little bit of me time at the start of the week.
For sure, and everyone does beauty differently.
Yeah.
Right? And so this is absolutely a way for people to tap into that, as you said, pretty effortlessly, without having to let the world know that they've gone 6 shades darker or that they've you know, maybe taking things a little bit too far. They're these little tools that make people feel that they're giving themselves a bit of love and moving around the world a happier person.
Feeling shiny and shimmery and gorgeous.
So before we jump in the treatment bed, I've got 3 questions for Meagan. Meagan, we touched on the fact that everyone does beauty differently. I always like to know what people's unique beauty philosophy is and what's important to them and how you came to that.
I think I go through stages. So my beauty journey is always like different chapters. And I feel like the chapter that I'm in at the moment is definitely refinement. So, you know, being a makeup artist when I was younger, I loved playing with colors and trends and all different things in products, you know, try all these different products. Now I'm about refining and finding the right products that work really well for me and keeping it really nice and simple.
Is there a bit of a non-negotiable tool that you use within your vast array of businesses that you work alongside of that you rely on very, very heavily?
Community, definitely. And I think a big part of that is obviously relationships. So working with a really great PR agency has always, I found, delivered great results for us in making those right connections. But then even from a grassroots perspective, with 3 Warriors, we started very grassroots, literally knocking on doors. And then 7 years later, we're in 1,500 stores. But we wouldn't be there if it wasn't for that grassroots community connection.
Humble beginnings, I always talk about.
Totally. And that community, whether it be referrals or introductions or like people who become like your brand advocates, like they literally build your business with you. And if it wasn't for those, and it's again so humbling, like these people investing and coming on that journey with you. You couldn't do it. It is so hard. And it is so wild out there that they're literally, they're very incredible.
In your businesses, what is an area that you really, really work hard on to try to empower people to feel better and to take the negative spin out of areas that this industry can inevitably create?
One thing that I think is really important to us and what we always try to do is be as authentic as possible with our communication. And that's across a lot of the brands. And you're not always going to get it right. I think it can be really tricky and hard to navigate out there, especially in social media and everywhere else. But we do try our best to be as transparent and as authentic as we possibly can.
So enough blabbering on from us. Let's jump on the treatment bed and give you a gorgeous facial.
So excited.
Why do you think tanning is so important to people? Why is it having a moment? Why is it not going away? What is it about tans that people love?
I think it definitely is how it makes you feel. So you just feel hot. I do think, being in Australia, we do have this beach culture. It's like sun-drenched, sun-kissed skin. So it's all part of that image.
So we touched on before about there being better ways to use a fabulous product like yours. What are some of your golden rules when it comes to fake tan applications?
So I think it's definitely not overlooking prepping the skin. So exfoliating the day before, shaving.
The day before?
Yeah, I like to do it the day before. So then you're removing all the dead skin cells, but you're also not aggravating the skin. Using a really kind of gentle exfoliator to just help buff, remove those dead skin cells is always a great way to start.
And can I just ask, do you think that by giving it a day between the exfoliation and the fake tan, you're potentially also negating further opportunities for sensitivity? You're giving the skin just a moment to kind of rebound, recover, and not only will that be a beautiful canvas for the application, but you're just giving the skin a moment to recover.
Definitely. Tanning tools are your best friend. So a mitt, absolutely non-negotiable, just like an SPF on your hands. Use one side of the mitt to apply and then the other side of it to buff the product in so that you're getting a really nice even application. I also sometimes like to go through and put a nice moisturizer on my hands, my knees, elbows, anywhere that it might just grab that little bit more to ensure that when you're applying the tan, it's not going to grab.
What do you use on your skin?
I'll generally use an niacinamide daily and we'll work in vitamin A and then use a vitamin C moisturizer.
Any exfoliation on the face?
I don't exfoliate my face too much, no. But I will sometimes do like micro skin needling or I'll get laser.
What sort of laser?
So generally I'll do IPL quite regularly and then coming into winters I'll get a fractional, so more pigment removal.
So exfoliation is, as you know, the cornerstone to a good fake tan application.
Yes.
I also wholeheartedly believe that it is so important when it comes to getting our skincare into the skin, because at the end of the day, the skin is a waterproof barrier. It actually doesn't want to let any of these things in. We're using delivery mechanisms and sophisticated formulations to get our products into the skin. But another way to help encourage better outcomes and absorption is through exfoliation. So with your skin, I can see you've got a build-up. You've got a fragile skin, you know, it is vascular and you're responding to that with your IPL, but that all happens underneath the skin. We've got to remember that we've got this epidermis where our skin cells are always proliferating, and we also have to just be mindful of that as well, particularly when you're applying makeup and applying fake tan. You've got to get that canvas right. So exfoliation, I think if you're feel that you're more on the sensitive or reactive side, that you will not do it.
Yeah.
But an enzymatic exfoliation is going to be really important for you, because it's going to lift these dead skin cells very, very gently, like I'm doing at the moment. It's not going to aggravate you, and it's only going to help everything else that you put on subsequently. So exfoliation, as you said before, you know, probably started off as scrubs. That's how people thought of them, and that's how some people still think of them. But it's a good example of where our industry doesn't necessarily change, but it just gets better. So now we love chemical exfoliation and enzymatic exfoliation, because all skins need to, but they all need different approaches. Is there a different product that you have for the face versus the body, knowing how different the skin is and how sensitive people can be? Do you suggest a different approach when it comes to the face than the body?
Yeah, we have a face tan mist, which is specifically designed for the face. It's quite gentle.
I think we might need to get 3 Warriors into the clinic.
Yes. Definitely.
If you'll have us.
Oh, if you'll have us.
With 3 Warriors not being your only business you're working alongside of, can you give me like a little bit of a typical day in the life of Meagan Pate?
It definitely changes. It's quite diverse depending on time of year and when it is. I would say at the moment I'm spending quite a lot of time on 3 Warriors planning for next year and a lot of product development. So we've typically had 5 products. Next year we're looking at a full range extension as well as a tan extension. I'm also working on another brand which is yet to launch to market. So in the early days of formulating, compliance, market fit, do a lot of strategic work, and then just staying really close obviously with Strand, which was a really big project that we worked on for about 3 years, and then we launched about nearly a year and a half ago. So Strand's going through a huge journey at the moment, launching into Sephora globally.
Incredible.
Which is incredible. It's quite amazing actually when you know those early phases of picking color chips and product sampling, and then to see it on shelf in one of the biggest beauty retailers in the world is It's pretty amazing. There's a few common denominators with both Strand and Three Warriors. They lean more on the natural efficacy side. Is there a need? Is it servicing people, or is it just adding to the clutter? Not really a big fan of adding to the clutter. Is there something that already exists, or is it something that doesn't exist? Or if it does, could it be better? And how do we make it better?
I guess you're in this stage where you have come out with a bang with a fabulous core range of products, right? You know you have now a dedicated following of people that love your product. You build upon what you know your customers are loving already, and you continue to bring additional solutions. But I'm sure you only bring them about on an as-needs basis, right?
Absolutely. I think with a brand too, and you're probably going on the same journey, and so much of the brand work that I can do for others, you conceptualize, you find a market fit, you think this is what we're going to look like, this is how we're going to sound, but then it really is out of your control. Like once you birth it, like then your journey is like listening and finding out like what are people actually responding to, what do they like, what are your customers' needs. And I think we're in a really privileged position, particularly with Three Warriors. Now we're nearly 7 years old.
With Viviology, we say that we're your dermal therapist in the bathroom,
Yeah.
right? So we love having that open line of communication with the people that are using our products and getting that feedback. It's difficult because the feedback you get, you often can't apply that straight away, right? With an issue with the packaging, with an issue with the formulation, like all that stuff. And I'm always room for improvement, of course, but some of that stuff is difficult to digest. And you have to just remember that you can never make a product that every single person is going to love.
Completely.
But I think often a way to encourage a better outcome with any product is through those open lines of communication.
So I suffer a lot from rosacea, redness. I find my skin will flare up quite a lot even from caffeine or if I drink alcohol. Do you have any recommendations on how I help manage that?
Yes, I do. So one of the things that I always love is when a client is aware of their triggers, because people will often come here talking about their facial redness and get very, very frustrated with us as their clinician that their redness is not getting any better or not getting as better as they were hoping it would. And it's not until we go on this journey together that they go, oh yeah, it is the booze I'm drinking, it is some of these spicy foods I'm eating. So knowing what your triggers are, that's on you, right? Because we all have to deal with issues within our body, and some of them come and express themselves on our face.
Yeah.
You can do all the right things to your skin. You can have your glowing complexion, your dewiness, your nice even skin tone. And then when your skin becomes red, you go, oh, well, it's because I had a boozy night and I had a great time. And it will subside.
Yeah.
That said, we all have these blood vessels that are feeding our skin nutrients, keeping it fresh, keeping it alive. And for a lot of people, those vessels sit quite superficially, or they're in greater number, which gives the opportunity for your skin to flush easier, right? So I know you have IPL, so that can be a great tool for targeting facial redness, so that when you do consume these foods and drinks, that your face is not so responsive. So continue with that, or know that IPL is a broad spectrum of different wavelengths that enter into the skin. Sometimes people do respond better to a more targeted wavelength, like 532 or 1064. That can actually help mop up a lot more of that redness.
Yeah.
Here's a great example of where good quality makeup comes into the story too, because we can't promise anyone that we're going to get rid of all of your redness. We'll do everything we can within the means that a client can spend or the time they can spend here, but it doesn't mean that you're going to have lily white skin. So that's where relying on some makeup, a little bit of camouflage is okay. Also, certain ingredients are better for vascular skins. So some skins need to be stripped back. Some skins need to be completely resurfaced. I know you mentioned that you get a Fraxel once a year. Probably not the best thing for your redness. It's a very, very invasive, dramatic procedure to a skin that probably needs more nurturing and strengthening than it does stripping and paring back. So utilising your vitamin A's such as a retinaldehyde, your antioxidants, keeping the skin very, very protected from the environment because your skin is more reactive, and then always opting for a cleanser that is more gentle and more giving than stripping and deep cleansing.
Okay, my last question for you. What are your thoughts on face massage, and do you have any hot tips?
The cleansing process is where you do your massage.
Yeah.
So it's not only going to allow a cleanser to function better on the skin. People wash their cleanser off after 10-15 seconds. Not even the best cleanser in the world can work that quickly. So you need to do at least a minute, and we have a lot of clients that do our 2-minute cleansing ritual, which is where you work a cleanser across the skin, stimulating the lymph, plumping the skin up, working on areas of texture and concern, and really prepping the skin for what you put on next. So really enjoying that moment to work the product across the skin, getting to know your skin better, focusing around the eyes if it's a little bit puffy, around the jawline if that's carrying a bit of extra fluid. So using that as an opportunity to know where you need to focus. And then also I'm really big on mixing serums together or cocktailing them, because quite often we're like, use one pump of this product. That's not a very luxe moment when you're trying to put one pump of a product across a whole face.
Yeah.
So adding a few serums together allows you to move it across the skin and therefore add a little bit of extra massage in. Yes. When we think about traditional facials, say 15 years ago plus, the best part of a facial, I think, was the massage. Yeah. It really, really was. It was probably the part that was able to sculpt, tone, calm, plump a skin more than any of the other components, particularly when you're adding that pressure and knowing where to put the right pressure. And then, it's undeniable just the emotional and mental benefit that massage brings as well. So if that's important for you, you can't do too much of it.
Amazing. I'm really interested in finding out more about the, is it the 2-minute washing?
2-minute cleanse?
The 2-minute cleanse.
Yeah.
Yes.
So give it a crack.
I will.
Some people say it's life-changing. And it's not necessarily something that you would do every day and night, but even just feeding it into your routine when you can, you'll feel the difference for sure, as long as you're pairing it with a good cleanser.
Yeah, beautiful.
So speaking with you, it's undeniable how much grit and determination and work has gone into your successes. And I believe that self-care is such a huge piece of the puzzle when it comes to being able to care for other people.
Yeah.
So what is your self-care process?
Yeah, over the years I've kind of perfected it. I know I'm in a really good space when I'm eating well, not drinking as much, but also each morning I start the day with a walk. Most of the time it's a beach walk. I'll put my earphones in, I listen to affirmations, positive meditations, I guess you could say, and I find that just really helps me get my mind in a good space to get into the day. So actually we had a lunch the other week with Sally from Swish, and she said she calls it the sandwich. So finding a self-care thing in the morning, even if it's 5-10 minutes, and finding one in the evening, 5-10 minutes. So whatever happens in the middle, you'll be like, if it goes to shit, that's fine. I've sandwiched my day. So yeah, I love that.
I love that too. And is there something that I've taught you about your skin that you'll take home into the bathroom with you?
Definitely. So one of my biggest concerns is redness, and I know when it gets triggered, but I didn't realize that it was because, or in part, I was under exfoliating. I was really scared to exfoliate because obviously when your skin barrier is a little bit inflamed, you don't want to add to it. So yeah, learning more about that and how it can be utilised in a much more gentle, less abrasive manner is something I'm excited to take home.
There's definitely moments where people shouldn't exfoliate, but there is an exfoliant out there for everyone.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you will be going home and embracing a bit of exfoliation. Proud of you. My takeaway from you is that I have been really impressed with what you've been able to achieve, and I asked you in the treatment room about how many staff do you manage, and you don't actually manage anyone. Your day-to-day work is having impact on a broader scale, and you have people that do the management for you. And whilst I personally really love supporting and nurturing and caring for the people that come and work here, I think it's amazing that you can achieve extraordinary things and put your focus and attention on other areas.
Yeah, it's such a different one. It's like the chapters thing again, right? What chapter that you're in. And I'm still in a bit of that chapter of being on the tools and not necessarily being able to pry myself away to, you know, have a team there in a leadership role where you're a little bit more removed from it.
Will you go where you're needed?
Yes.
In whatever chapter you're in, and I really appreciate you sharing everything with us today and for letting me touch your skin.
Great. Can we do this again?
Sure, you can book in 6 weeks' time.
Done.